why do birds have breasts?
Robust and mysterious bird breast.
Whoa! But resin bird with symmetrical breasts, did you know that Nintendo Switch 2 sales are through the roof?
It's huge!
1 million Atari!
Oh my god.
I just wanted some sauce on those zingers.
Hey everybody, a world famous man here telling you that today at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I will be streaming on this channel and we will be going over videos that I made back in the day talking about Soulja Boy's two previous video game scams that he was looking to do. I'll have a link in the description below and top pin comment. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. It helps in the algorithm. All right, I see if I finally said it. So subscribe to the channel, give it a like. It helps. Are you happy? It's awkward.
1 million Atari, 1 million.
All right, so I don't know what to do here. I actually have good news about Nintendo. I can't complain about anything, and it's weird, and I don't know what to do, and I need an emotional support bird. Luckily, I have one, but nonetheless, this is good. I'm happy to hear this. Now, so we heard back in August that the Nintendo Switch 2 was selling well. We heard about the Switch 2 selling over 3 million units, about 3.5 million units just a few days after it launched. We heard about how in August, the Switch 2 sold about 6 million units, which was insane. But my concern was, all right, it was the summertime. The system just came out. Was that a honeymoon period? Were the sales really going to slow down after that? No, I'm happy to report that the Nintendo Switch 2 is still selling well, and it's breaking records, actually. It's like, holy crap. Anyway, this comes from Kotaku. We'll read it, and then we will discuss, or I will discuss, and you will watch me discuss it with myself. Nintendo sold over 10 million Switch 2s twice as fast as the PS5. Oh my god, man. Nintendo has announced that its brand new console, the Switch 2, has now sold over 10 million units in its first 4 months on sale. That makes it the most successful console launch ever by quite some margin. And the 2 flagship games, Mario Kart World and Large Ape Bonanza, each have their own extraordinary figures to boast of. The Switch 2 launched June 5th. I actually was there for the midnight release. Never again. I didn't play it until like 4 days later, I think. I didn't play it right away. Anyway, after a peculiar and obfuscated buildup, went on to sell an extraordinary 3.5 million units in the first 4 days on sale. I think maybe I talked about it, made a video, I don't know, which I said was amazing, but was it because people were just, again, the diehards, even with the 6 million, like I said, was it the diehards that were making those sales numbers happen? And is the honeymoon period over? Again, it wasn't. Let's continue. Now, one thing Kotaku mentions here that the sales, those 3.5 million units in 4 days, that also includes pre-orders, which, yeah, I get it. So obviously all those pre-orders, like as soon as they go into the store, you're going to see a whole bunch of units sold. But also you got to include too, that includes people who, if there were some Switch 2s left over, that they went in there and actually bought them as well. So still an insane number, even if you include the pre-orders of how quickly they sold 3.5 million Switch 2s. At the start of August, Nintendo revealed things were going extremely well, with a total of 6 million Switch 2s sold in its first month. While numbers from rival console manufacturers are often hazy, this fully confirms the hybrid gaming device as the most successful console launch ever, dwarfing the already impressive numbers of the original Switch and beating the PS5 to 10 million sales by a full 4 months, which is to say the Switch 2 has sold twice as fast as the PS5 in that period. Come the latest financial filings from Nintendo noting sales up to the end of September, the company reports that by September 30th, it had sold a total of 10.36 million Switch 2s, which is absolutely insane. They also go on to talk about how many copies of Mario Kart World were sold, which is a total of 9.57 million copies. And Donkey Kong Bonanza has sold about 3.5 million units. Now, they're saying that Nintendo was actually thinking that they were going to get only 15 million Switch 2s sold by spring, but they actually upped that number because of how well the Switch 2 is selling to 19 million units. This is by March of 2026. They're thinking they're going to have close to 20 million Switch 2s sold already. It won't even be out a year yet. Let that sink in. Look, this actually, for once, there's so much negative news out there. This actually makes me very excited. Not that I think Nintendo is handling the Switch 2 perfectly. Far from it. I think they're doing some anti-consumer stuff. You know, I had a viewer of the show, Sean, on talking about how Nintendo wrongfully bricked his Switch 2. And if it wasn't for Target letting him exchange his console, he would have just had a brick Switch 2 that he couldn't play games on. Like, very anti-consumer stuff there, and I'm not happy with it. However, with that being said, I am very happy to hear that the Switch 2 is selling well, because in an era where Microsoft especially, where they're just becoming a third-party developer, let's keep it real, and Sony pretty much in, you know, drips and drabs, but they do releasing their third-party games on PC. There's no excitement to consoles anymore. It's essentially, it's like, okay, you know, you buy a PlayStation, you know, the games are eventually going to come to other platforms. Microsoft, their games day one come to other platforms. So whereas I understand that there's arguments to be made that games shouldn't be platform specific, and I hear you and I agree with them. But at the same time, Nintendo's done this formula pretty damn well, where it's like, hey, you want to play the newest Mario game? Guess where you got to play it. You want to play the newest Donkey Kong game? You want to play the newest Zelda game? You want to play Metroid Prime 4 is coming out soon. You want to play those games? You only have one damn place to play them. And then when you get their hardware in the home, that's the Trojan horse to you buying more games on there. And they get the license fee from third-party developers, and they get you to buy more first-party games, where if it wasn't for that other exclusive that you bought their console for, you may have not had that console in your home, and you may have not made other purchases, that because now the other game, you had to get a Switch 2 to play it on there. It's like, okay, I mean, I have the damn system now anyway, so I might as well see what other games I could get for it. So as a person who loves the Steam Deck, I love Steam OS and all of that stuff. I love it. But at the same time, you have to have a reason to have this hardware. And I don't want to see games just become solely a service. I know that's the inevitable future, but I want it to be the inevitable future way down the line. And with Nintendo doing what they're doing with the Switch 2, they're proving that people still want a piece of hardware where there are exclusive games that you can get nowhere else. And Nintendo's keeping that alive. Nintendo is keeping console gaming alive in 2025. This is Rich Tomorrow signing out. Make sure you sub to this channel on my ASMR channel. I'm cooking that video like literally as we speak. And I will see you all in the next video and on this live stream today. Have a good one.